Okay, so like, you wanna know why I'm so fucked up? Well, I got $1 million lawsuit. I really do. I blame it all on PBS, the public broadcasting system or whatever network. Wouldn't that be PBN? Public Broadcasting Network. Either way, PBS. That's who I blame. And if they're still a company, they owe me $1 million. Where's my hat? Okay, so hold on, I need a dab before I'm going to tell you all this story. This is Samoa's hybrid, 65.2% CBD. It's some good shit. It's like, it smells like apricot, mistletoe, and pine. It's fucking awesome. Well, anyways, I'm sure we can all agree that when you're a child, you're whatever your your first impressions of life, like what they're showing you on the television and things like that, those really do play a big part in what shapes who we are as people and how we grow and what we become and how we become who we became to be. I remember this show called Romper Room. And on this show, it was like, there'd be this woman, she'd have a mirror that didn't have a mirror in it, and it had a hole in it. And she'd be like, I can see all the boys and girls at home. I can see Billy and Bobby and Cindy and Susie and Jimmy and George and Johnny, and it was crazy. She really had you psyched out that she could see you through this hole in the fucking mirror. But and then there was Paddington Bear. Paddington Bear would come on and he would do some shit. And Paddington Bear liked marmalade a lot. And then there was Simon Says. And you would play the game with Simon Says. If Simon said to do it, you'd do it. And if Simon didn't say to do it, you wouldn't do it. But point is, at the end of this show was this thing called Buzzy the Bee. Buzz. And all the boys and girls at home would flap their wings and make the buzzing noise when Buzzy the Bee would come out. And they'd go, buzz, it's Buzzy, Buzzy the Bee, Buzzy. So that was at a very, actually his name was Doobie. That's right, his name was Doobie. And he made a buzzing noise. And he was Doobie that made a buzzing noise, and it was Doobie, and he was Buzzy the Bee. You get what I'm saying, right? It puts a seed into your head as a child that a Doobie will give you a buzzing feeling, a good feeling, a buzz. Bzzz. make you want to grow, live, inspire, expire, entertain, expire. So, I believe as a child they planted the seed in my head to smoke a doobie, because later on when I was 12 years old, I was sad and I was in the public school system, and my mother had hired a babysitter, a long-haired metalhead guy, smoking a joint. I was sitting in the back seat. Remember, he looked at me and said, "You want to smoke a doobie?" And when he said that, he said, "You want to smoke a doobie?" Automatically, the shit fucking triggered in my brain a buzzing feeling. I came out of my depression. I grabbed that doobie and I hit it. And then they put me in jail for it. I would say right there is a lawsuit. What came on after that show? Sesame Street. Sesame Street showed me that it was cool to hang out in an alley in New York City at a stop sign, sell my drugs. Even taught me how to count with the count. Even taught me how to have attitude with those people that ain't got no cash, with the grouch. Showed me that it's cool to hang out with the niggers and the Puerto Ricans, and a crack-headed bird pecking at the ground for crack rocks. And then what came on? Mr. Rogers. What did Mr. Rogers teach me? Hold on, I'll tell you. Mr. Rogers. I watched Mr. Rogers tonight on Special K. And the movie was monumental in my life, man. It was in the beginning of my life. Now at the end, Mr. Rogers is a saint, man. I love Mr. Rogers. Mr. Rogers loved me too. He loved all of us. Mr. Rogers was one cool ass motherfucker. But he also taught us things. He taught us that even if you live in a model society, you should still have 7 chains and padlocks on your door. Why is that? If you live in a model, why would you have 7 chains and padlocks on your door? And how come everybody that came in the house was everybody but the police? How come all the porch scenes, all the scenes on the porch, that was when the Officer Bob would come. He would always meet him outside. Mr. Rogers taught us never to bring the police into your house. Always meet them on the porch. He also taught us to stand clear of the door when saying, "Who is it?" in case bullets fly through it. He also taught us that it's okay to have an imaginary fucking trolley world in your fucking brain. And play with little boys and girls through a TV set. Like an alien. He did this shit because he was Mr. Rogers and he fucking loved us. And he was cool as fuck. And that's kind of what made me who I am too. And you see, what came on after Mr. Rogers? He-Man and Skeletor. I don't even know what to say about that right now. I'm going to tell you where it's going. It's going to G.I. Joe and Cobra. The reptilians and the Palladians. You feel what I'm saying? It's made me who I fucking am. And I think someone should pay me $1 million fucking dollars for the time I've sat in a goddamn box for this shit. Now, if there's any lawyer out there that's willing to take this fucking on, let's do this shit. You can have half of everything. Deal, motherfucker. Let's do this.